Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Riverside Council with me, Caroline Pide. And with me today is Gloria Mugalu. Gloria, just introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hello, viewer. Gloria Mugallo here. God's delights.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. uh, we're still on the topic of sexuality, and that is teens and sexuality. There's the issue of introduction of sex education in schools. What do you think? Is it really something that should be introduced to schools for teens to learn this when they're in schools?
Mm, I think when you talk about sex education,
Mm-hmm.
it really needs to be redefined. Well, we need to understand, what do we mean by sex education?
Mm.
What do we mean by education? Education in itself is okay.
Yeah.
But when you are doing sex education, is it like teaching them on how to do it? What to do, what to expect whenever they're doing it, because when you're educating somebody, you're empowering the person in wisdom, in knowledge on how to do certain things or not to do certain things. So I think, number one, it needs to be redefined. Like, what do we mean by saying sex education?
Mm-hmm.
Because the education itself, it's very, very necessary, and it doesn't even need to be introduced in the school. Like, if you've been following our shows, we say this is something that needs to be introduced right from childhood. When the baby is growing, you're teaching a toddler to name their body parts. Don't talk about this thing to be called doo-doo. Call it penis, call it vagina for what it is, so that she won't hear the truth of its name from a stranger. And then she will hear the functions from a stranger, which will be misleading.
Yeah.
So, and you would say that is educating already. It's just in body parts. You've not really expounding on details about the parts and the functions and all that. But it's an education. It's a level of education. So, and as they grow, as kids grow, and we were talking about teenagers, their body changes and development and all that, in a way, because it just doesn't change. In fact, mostly what grows and develop, actually the sexual organs, mostly, the breasts start coming out, so they need to be aware from home. But what I think the nation wanted to do about the sexual education, the bill in itself was, I think, is a mix, is so tainted, in a way it's very devilish. So, like I said, the sex education itself is not bad, if only it can be redefined and let us know what are we teaching them about sex. But according to the bill that was almost being introduced in our schools, I think it's on hold right now, and you're trusting God that it doesn't find its way in our institutions. It's very, very satanic.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what is the message that should be passed to teens about this? What should parents share about sex with their teens?
With the teenagers.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And as a parent, when a kid is a teenager, also, like, you don't deal with them like you dealt with a toddler.
Sure.
With a young one, you just mention their body parts and you tell them it's for wee wee, it's for susu, it's for poo, it's for this, and that's all.
Yeah.
When they become teenagers and you're becoming a friend, you're really close, you're friends, and you don't treat them like children, but more of your friends than your children. So it's if, like we saw, if they're free with you and they're talking to you about even their body changes, or you guys are in a talk, there's no formula to it, to what length you can go. But the thing, because a conversation, friendship is a very natural thing.
Sure.
When it's there, it just grows, it just flows. So you won't start saying, let's start from here. What size is the right size of the penis? What should you do with your vagina? It's foolish kind of talk. The thing is, the discussion will just flow. They will tell you what their challenges are, what they're feeling, what they're uncomfortable with, whether they're feeling happy about it, what they need to do, what should they do, I mean, the talk, for me, I think, depending on how you've grown and rapport with your children, with your teenagers, it will naturally flow. It doesn't have to be calculative. Yeah.
Okay, and let's go a bit deep in schools. You know what is taught in schools is kinda it's kinda not what's happening in real life, because in schools teens are taught about their reproductive body parts and their functions. Do you feel like there's something that these teachers need to include and somehow add to this?
Okay, what I would say is I'm not so sure right now how it's being handled. Maybe also it depends on the teachers and the schools, institutions, and all that. It's important even as we teach our kids about the reproductive system and all that. You know, it's in a way it's a very exciting topic that at a certain age just want to hear about it. And also teachers, unfortunately, many teachers make fun of it. So we stir up our children, we stimulate them. The education in itself is not supposed to be a stimulant. It's just like you're teaching about the eye, the pupil, the you know, the part of the eye and the functions, the antenna there, and what do you call it? Yeah, I left school a long time ago. All the functions and all that. Now, it would be stupid for me to start making experiment with my eye. I want to go and try if I poke it, how will the retina behave? How will this behave, the pupil behave? I start poking it and just experimenting with it. So the problem I have with the lessons that are taught in school when it comes to reproductive systems are not being taught as a lesson to learn, as an education, you know, to just empower you. This is the skill, this is the knowledge you need to have and fly with. But the children mostly are left wanting to explore, wanting to experiment. Because when you keep on emphasizing, it's normal for a boy, when you get this, you have to erect. Even those one who never noticed that you used to erect, because that tatisa you're telling them they erect, is it, I don't know, saa kumi na moja ama saa tisa. They are too asleep, they are not aware what is happening on their body. Now they started being keen. Oh, so this change happens. Now when it happens, they assume it means you're very normal, yeah, which is true. And now you need a girl, you need to sleep around, you need, you know, to have sex and all that, to release whatever. So it stimulates this society, the teenagers, the youth. And that's why you'll find teenagers wanakatia hata students, teachers in school, you know. You go into a boys school, wanakatia teacher uko kwa blackboard unachora na mtoto wa 14, 15 years anakukatia, anakupima, na, you know, he's imagining you with you in the bed and all that. So I think, like you say, you're asking whether the teachers need to add something to it. You know, if a teacher is immoral, he doesn't have values, there's nothing you'll expect a teacher to add on this. So, but I think that's why getting back to the foundation at home is very, very important. If this kid knows this from home, when a teacher is introducing the subject, they know their limits. They're already aware. It's not something new that is being introduced to them now. It will make them start, I need to go and explore. I need to go and experiment. No. They will be okay with what they know. And they will just know it's just for the purpose of education.
Okay, and what are the effects of this sex education?
Like I said, at times, the negative effect right now, it's this, the stimulation it causes in our teenagers, in our youth. You know, I heard of a case of a mother who called, there's this emergency line, she called, and it happens here in Kenya, she left her 2 to 3-year-old girl with the care of his 14-year-old brother. And the brother was messing on the girl, you know. So what sex education, the negativity is, like I said, when it stimulates. Because as you teach them, you need to understand, to make these kids understand, we are teaching you, this development is, it's, you know, the sex in itself is good, yeah, it's of God, but it's supposed to be done. It's not something to experiment about. It's not something to try and test. It's something that needs just to be enjoyed and lived in the confines of a marriage. Until you're out of school, until you're you are responsible enough to be married or to marry, that's when you will enjoy the fruit of this thing. But then when we leave it at the point of, you want to know how it feels? You want to know how, you know, sometimes we are not direct to tell them that, but we leave them, where we leave the subject, it leaves them thinking, on my route back home, I want to tease on a girl, even a house girl in the house or whatever, So then I think for me, the negative thing is the way it has stimulated them and made them to feel it's normal to do this thing, even as a teenager.
Okay, and is there a positive way of this?
Yeah, the only positive way, like I said, is just like you're teaching about the functions of the mouth, the functions of the eye, the function of the ear. So when they feel a tingling in an ear, they will know, is it an eardrum? Is it an earpiece? Whatever, what is it that is wrong? So they'll be able, it's like calling attention to that issue. It's not necessarily meaning now I need to start taking swipe and start poking my ear and all that. In the same way, when you have these sexual feelings, it's normal, it's okay, but it's not an alarm call that look for a woman, look for a man. It's just for you to know, okay, my body is functioning and I have the power within me to control these feelings because they are feelings. Just when you sikia njaa, ukisikia njaa hakuna mtu ako in his normal senses akisikia njaa anaona mapera ndio hizo zimeoza zinaangukanga tu hapo chini zimeoza because you're hungry, you say let me start pick and start eating. Ama mapera mbichi kabisa zile bado green hata hazijafikia mahali ya kuripe, you start plucking, you say, because that's what you're doing in real life. When you start plucking of these things before they ripen, you're actually eating raw meat. You cook meat first. There's a process to it. So, and if you can be patient to wait, mapera grow, iive, ndio anze kuenjoy. You can still, the same way. Actually, it's the same patience you exercise. Waiting for a tree to ripen the fruit, then you start enjoying them. The same patience you exercise in waiting for meat to boil well, iive poa, ndio kule, is the same patience you exercise with the sexuality. It's just the duration that matters. But the same patience.
Okay. There was the issue of lowering the age of maturity, that is in ladies from 18 to 16. What do you think was the effect that it could have caused to these teenagers?
Girls.
Could it be would it have caused harm, or would it be of help to our teenagers?
I would actually say it's a very, very sad situation, and it was a very, very bad proposal from honorables, from people we think they're supposed to be leaders and to guide this generation in the right path. It's sad to find that people want to be licensed to prey on toddlers, because for me, a teenager, a 16-year-old, what do they know? Even about some of them, they still soil themselves. They don't understand even how to take care of themselves when they're in their menses. How would they know how to deal with another party who just wants to, play around with them sexually? So it's a very, very sad state, and I pray they were repentant and they never think of that again, because already our girls are in danger. Let me just specify girls, because they targeted girls. They didn't even say they were going to lower it in boys, and already they're in danger. Our girls are being raped. Children are being molested. They're not safe. But now they wanted to make it very legal, so that when they do it, they'll have the right. It will be like it was okay. It's a legal thing to do. I imagine it was your own daughter, because some of this thing, even people who are pushing for this thing, I wonder sometimes when they sit back to look at what happens if my leader, the area MP, the chief, slept with my daughter, or slept with my granddaughter who is 15 years, who is 16 years, who is 18 years. How will I feel? It's important to always go back and put yourself in the position of these kids at times, because if even at 18 they're not mature enough, I don't think it was even fair to think lowering that age to 16, it was going to be of any good. It was going to bring a lot of damage, a lot of harm, a lot of pain to so many, many lives. Because it's not yet legal, but still people are doing it. Now, how much more when you make it legal? It's just sad.
We're going for a short break, but we'll be right back.
instructed us to do some things, hear this today, the transport must remain correct. Whatever we begin, whether of God or not of God, it will begin somehow. But hear this, beloved of God, only what Jehovah has authorized will stand the test of time. And me and you as a believer must be careful, because the seductive powers of the devil will always try to come to us to take an advantage of what God is doing to answer our problem.
Tukimwita Baba wa Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo, yeye ni mwaminifu na hata wa haki. Je, mtu wa kwenyu amepatikana na mabaya? Maandiko inasema basi na aombe, na kuomba kule kwa mtu yule Bwana anasema atamwokoa. Anasema naombe na moyo wa kuchangamka, na aimbe zaburi. Na kuletea habari njema mpendwa, nikikwambia ya kwamba ni maombi yatakusaidia, ni maombi yatakubadilisha, ni maombi yatakuinua. Na ndiposa ninakutazama nikisema hivi, kama tungeliomba kama vile Biblia inasema, watu wanaoitanishwa kwa jina langu watakapojinyenyekeza na kuomba na kuachana na njia zao mbaya, wakimwitia Bwana, naye Bwana ataitika na atatuponya na ataiponya nchi yetu.
Sisi ndio nyumba, na sisi ndio watu ambao Bwana anatamani, watu ambao anawatafuta ili wakaweze kumwabudu. Maana hawamwabudu kwa sababu wako juu ya milima, hawamwabudu kwa sababu wako katika nyumba yake, wanamwabudu kwa sababu wao hako ndani yao na wao wako ndani yake. Na kwa hivyo Bwana anawatafuta watu kama hawa, maana hawamwabudu kwa sababu ya pale. Na kwa hivyo wewe siku ya leo mpendwa, nataka kukuhimiza ya kwamba inakufaa uanze kufikiri maneno ya Yesu aliyoyazungumzia.
Welcome back. So, Gloria, are there other effects that it could have caused if maybe it was past?
Of course. Of course. It's actually turning just a whole state into an immoral state. Let me say, when something is being done, but not as a law, not as a constitution, it's an individual sin. We deal with you as a person. It's your cross to carry. If you find a man who sleeps with a 16-year-old, with a 17-year-old, you sentence that man as him. You deal with him as a person. It is his sin. When you make it a law, it is the sin of the state. It is a corporate sin. It's not just about the individual. It is about the nationalities. It is about Kenyans. You are immoral. You prey on girls. So it actually puts even the whole society, the whole nation, in a wrong book, in a wrong place, even with God, our Maker. Not just bill. Let's say like even the abortion bill, if it passes, the thing, it makes a nation a killer. We are sentenced to be murderers. As a country, you can't escape it. So those are some of the wider damages it was going to bring even on a nation. Like now, it won't just cover the person doing it, but it covers everybody involved. And then when a girl, already some parents are finding it hard even to tame their daughters and help them understand you are still a child, please grow. Now that one was going to make them grow horns more and just be promiscuous and live anyhow because they know they're free. Imagine a 16-year-old is still in school. Now your daughter leaves school, but she can't come straight home because she's free to have sex, and the teacher has the license to also have sex with your daughters, and they can keep your daughters in school and have sex with them before they come home. And it's okay. You can't sue them. You can't report them anywhere. It's okay. A parent will be home wondering, where's my girl? She didn't come. Kidogo, before you know it, 6 girls impregnated by the same teacher or by the chief or by the shopkeeper. Or, because it's legal. You send your child anywhere, they will not be safe anywhere. They won't. It's a just sad state. I just pray, like I said, I pray those people just repented, and it will something that will never really even be spoken about in this country.
Okay. Now we talked of you talked of stimulation because of this sex education to our teenagers. Now, teenagers wanna practice some things when they hear. After stimulating this teenager, he or she feels like it's right to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. First, who is a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Because it's redefined negatively in the society. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I think, who is a friend? I think we really need to define friendship. And then you need to define who is a girl, who is a boy. Because mostly as we are raising children, we tell them the differences between a boy and a girl. Maybe a boy, because when they are children, there's nothing that stands out to differentiate them besides their sexual organs. So you define their differences using their sexual organs. That's the only thing that makes them different. And growing up, of course, they grow up maturing and they're getting to know more, to now hide themselves, their privacy from the opposite sex. They know, okay, no boy sees my vagina. The boy knows no girl sees my penis. And all that. So they grow knowing that. But they are growing in a society, in a family maybe set up, where they relate, they cooperate. They are not enemies. They go to school or in the neighborhood. They are playing around with other kids. They are not enemies. So I think we need to redefine friendship, meaning that these are your friends. So when you're talking to a child about a boyfriend, girlfriend, they should not be, boyfriend, missing a boyfriend, missing a girlfriend, mom, missing a girlfriend. But nikono kicheza na Rachel, kwani si nacheza tu na yeye, kwani ni enemy wako? Then they start thinking, no, si enemy, si ni friend yako basi. Yes, so now they start, okay, he's a friend. So I think we need to redefine boyfriend, girlfriend. Boyfriend, girlfriend doesn't mean sex friend. It's just a boy, it's just a girl. We're just different like that. But he's my friend. The fact that he's not my enemy, she's not my enemy, she's my friend. So I think we need to build that confidence in our kids also, even in teenagers, so that they're not shocked when it comes to... But I've seen some kids also who have been raised very well. They're like, mom, naenda kwa friend yangu. Friend yako mgani? Mercy. And he's a boy, And there's no question about it. There's no like, Mercy? She's a girl. Because sometimes also parents, we do that. But she's a girl. Yeah, what's wrong with that? She's my friend. We play together. Then we start planting things in the kids which were not actually there. Because now they already saw you shock and they will start digging. Why was mom shocked that naenda kona Mercy? Na Mercy ni friend yangu. We are just friends. So before they do that, of course, they'll be discussing. And before they do that, they will start, okay, maybe there's something deeper to a friendship than just being my friend. And now they start exploring. So I think it's important to redefine friendship and let our kids just understand friendship is just good friendship. It's for moral support. It's people you can relate with. They're your friends. So your parents can be your friends. Your brothers are your friends. Your neighbors are your friends. Your schoolmates are your friends. And then when it comes to now sex and friendship, that's a different subject.
Now let's talk of friend and the sex thing.
Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, sex is a different subject. Oh, it has nothing to do with friendship. So when you're talking, you're building the confidence in your child, in friendship and relationship. It's quite different from sex. So, and when you're introducing in the subject matter, of course, that's when you say, okay, this is the reason for your friendship. You know, friendship is you relate, you play together, you communicate, you're not enemies. You know, you can defend each other, you can protect one another, you can help one another. Then the subject of sex, of course, will come in, of which the children also need to understand friendship. Sex is not just for, it's not for friends. Sex is for husband and wife. People are responsible enough, ready to be mom and dad because there are consequences out of sex. So and it's a very simple thing, by the way. When they understand sex is a mommy daddy thing, is not a friendship thing. It's enough in a way. Anyway, they may dig more to know than why so and so may be doing, because, I mean, because mostly, you know, when people indulge in sex, they actually lie to themselves, I love you. They're saying I love you during that moment of sex and all that. When a product come of sex, mtu anaanza kuruka, hiyo mimba si yangu, mimi si kuko na kujua, mimi sijui nini nini, you know, and all that kind of a thing. So, friendship and sex are quite different things. Let the kid know, the teenage know, sex is for couples, husband and wife, not for friends.
Okay. Maybe there's a teenager out there who has the definition of boyfriend and girlfriend thing differently, and she or he is asking him or herself, is it really necessary to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend at teenagehood?
Yeah, I think defining it also is not basic when it comes to that kind of a question, because there are those kids also who have grown with those questions, not really understanding the boyfriend girlfriend thing. So they always associate boyfriend or girlfriend with sex.
Yeah.
So you need to change their mindsets first of all and help them understand friend is a friend, you know, is a trustworthy person, is somebody you have a rapport with, somebody you communicate, relate with very well. And help them understand, like I said, sex and friendship is different. Now, when you have redefined that, even before you answer their direct question, is it okay or not, the answer is actually with them. After redefining, you can turn back the question to them. Now, after we define the friendship, is it okay for you to have friends of the opposite sex? Of course, with that kind of definition, they will actually tell you, it's not even right to have, I actually have. You know, I just didn't know. I would actually boldly and outrightly say, these are my girlfriends or these are my boyfriends if it's an opposite sex. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for this discussion, and thank you for your time, Gloria.
You're welcome.
But before we wind up, just share your social handles so people can find you in case they want to talk to you.
Yeah, if you want to talk to me, Facebook is Gloria Mugallo. YouTube, Gloria Wonderful Mugallo. Mugallo has double L-O, and my Gloria has an H. And I've done a lot. I've done some write-ups. I've done some booklets here on singles for purity. Main single, pure, powerful, and secure. You know, sexual perversion is not just a struggle with the youth of this generation, but even the adults, the married, the small kids are struggling with it. So it's a very good book. Please grab a copy. Look for me. My number is 0721 862 408. 0721 862 408. And let us see how we can help each other and raise a brand new generation that honors God in their values.
Thank you very much for watching Riverside Council. And as we have been told, it's very good to create that friendship with these teenagers and find a way to express some issues to them without creating that fear. Till next time, I was your host, Caroline Bide.